This is a first impression video of the recently aired Chinese web drama 鬓边不是海棠红 Winter Begonia. Hi, you're watching Avenue X, where a junkie on good storytelling shares her thoughts, knowledge, and occasional weird ideas on stories and how they're told. Before I go into talk about the drama, here is a very quick reminder that the ExpressVPN deal is still available from Avenue X. I actually don't know when it's gonna end. It kind of is ongoing. So basically, if you need to access public Wi-Fi very frequently, also if you want to bypass the regional restrictions of your IP addresses so you can access more streaming platforms content such as Netflix or Viki, you need to use a VPN service to allow you to change your IP address and keep your data safe. Right now, if you purchase an annual plan from expressvpn.com/avenuex, you can get 3 months extra for free. Okay, I think that's the quickest I've ever done talking through this thing. Now, Winter Begonia, 鬓边不是海棠红. This drama is being aired exclusively on iQIYI and it's 49 episodes long. The drama is directed by the same director who directed the story of Yanxi Palace, produced by Yu Zheng. And the drama is led by Huang Xiaoming, Ying Zheng, She Shiman. I have to be honest before I talk about the drama. Every drama that has Yu Zheng's name attached to it, I would pretty much look at it through a very filtered glass, just because who he is and what he has done and his track record. Before he fully apologized for what he has done and pay for what he has done, I will never stand on his side. But today, I'm gonna try to take my opinion about him out of this drama. Just look at it as a drama. Because honestly, a lot of people are very curious about what this drama would turn out to be ever since its announcement back in 2018 when they said we're gonna make it. This drama is based on a BL novel that was considered to be one of the better BL novels ever written. Also because the work itself is not just a BL novel, it's focusing on that particular era of Beijing and particular profession, the Beijing opera singers, that really do present you a very interesting picture of many different characters who live in that period of time, their aspirations, but also the incredibly difficult and turbulent time that people have to live in. Currently, the drama has aired 12 episodes on iQIYI if you have VIP access, and I've seen all of them minute by minute. I haven't skipped anything. So this review is based on that. I will give it 2 gold mines, so that's like the highest gold mine score I've given since I started this scale. And I will go into talk about why I would rate it that way. The drama started filming at the end of 2018, mid of December, and they finished principal photography at the very end of April last year. So it did took about 4 months and a half to film this whole drama. The story is set in 1933 Beijing, and it focuses on the central relationship between 2 male characters, Cheng Fengtai, a very shrewd businessman played by Huang Xiaoming, and Shang Xirui, a genius Beijing opera singer played by Ying Zheng. Through their encounter, their development of their relationships, you get to see a very ensembled story of many people in that particular era. It brings in a lot of stories about the profession of Beijing opera singers, the business world of that time, about China right before Japan's invasion, and sort of sitting at the very big societal change between the previous already gone dynasty and the current warlords fighting situation. It's like the worst destination time if you can time travel. Knowing that background of what the story is about, I'm gonna talk about the things I really like about this drama. The first thing is the overall production quality. So on the hardware side of this drama, it really is one of the most expensive, good-looking drama I've seen for a while. For the stuff that ends up in the shot, the sets, props, costumes are all very well made. They do show a lot of craftsmanship, they do show a lot of attention, they also show a good amount of balance between style and reality. Because the story started in winter and everybody is dressed in very thick clothes, and you can tell that from people's social standard and how much money they have. They either wear furs that looks pretty, or suits and coats that looks pretty, also keep you warm, or the very traditional old Chinese cotton coat that makes you look really ridiculous and not pretty. But it's very realistic because that's what most commoners would be wearing. The props displayed for different kind of places that people live in, the streets, all those stuff screams money. The colors graded to a more muted way and adding a bit warm tone, so it gives you that old photo feeling throughout, but it's not as overtly color graded as what you see in Story of Yanxi Palace, basically when all the red kind of turns into orange. For Winter Begonia, they didn't go that far, so I'm actually pretty happy with the color palette that they went for. In terms of lighting, it's really well done. It's done by the same team, I think, that did Yanxi Palace. It definitely is going for the more cinematic look than the typical drama look, so things are not overlit. There's a good amount of light and shadow. For most of the scenes, you will see a good contrast on the actor and actress's face. It's not like just flat white light on your face. Also, there's a good separation of the foreground and the background. Everything looks pretty professional. It does tell you it's a production with a lot of attention, a lot of care and money and time, probably setting stuff up for each shot. So if not anything, looking at the drama is very enjoyable visually. Also, I think most of the actors use their own voice. I'm not quite sure if it's 100% ADR or 100% recorded on set. I feel like it's a mixture, but I couldn't find the information about what's been done. Some actors are dubbed. For example, She Shiman, because she's from Hong Kong and she really can't speak a perfect Mandarin. So she uses her long-term collaborator voice dubber that she's always had since the days in TVB. So at least you're very familiar with that particular sound coming out of her mouth. In general, everybody used mostly their own voice, and it does help to ground you in the story's reality. A second thing I really like about this drama is I'm really happy about the casting choices and also their acting. When it was first announced, people weren't quite sure about Huang Xiaoming and Ying Zheng's pairing, and I wouldn't say they are like totally flawless if you want to bring the characters from the book onto the screen, but I think their performance do make sense to the point that you wouldn't care the discrepancies that exist between their portrayal and what's written in the book. I wouldn't say the chemistry between the two leads is as like you can feel it coming off the screen so strongly as you would feel watching dramas like Guardian, but by no means they're doing a bad job. They're doing a very good job, actually exceeding my expectations. Huang Xiaoming had this bad reputation of being 油腻, of being crazy, like in a lot of 霸道总裁 kind of roles. A lot of people are really worried about him doing that again in this drama. And in this drama, he didn't do that. It really does prove that he's a pretty good actor if you give him correct direction for whatever role he's doing. I mean, thinking back on the Varnam Fire 2, his Pyong Zhang is really good. I absolutely love that character. I think it also goes to the director. You would have to credit the director for being able to stand in front of the monitor and say what kind of acting works for this scene, and we're gonna keep that one. So I would say at least for Huang Xiaoming's performance, this is a very successful collaboration between him and the director. Ying Zheng is also doing a very good job. Although it's not perfect if you really want to be strict about, you know, bringing the book version completely to life. But just by the performance itself and how they designed this character for the screen adaptation version, I think he did a pretty good job. It's not easy to play a Beijing opera singer. It's very hard, very, very hard. There's a lot you need to learn, and he certainly didn't do a perfect job because it's impossible. If you're not trained like for 10, 20 years to do it, you wouldn't be able to do it. But I think at least in the sense of pretending and looking good for the camera and convincing enough for average viewers who are not experts of Beijing opera, he's done a very, very good job, and he definitely put a lot of effort into some of those quite difficult practices. Also, he looks so good when he dresses up for Danjur, for the female roles in Beijing opera. He's like prettier than most of the women you can think of. Like most people, no matter how pretty they are, right? When they put that makeup and have that hair makeup on, they wouldn't look as good as he does. He really does have a face that just looks perfect for Beijing opera style of makeup. I just look at it, I was like, wow. Wow, I wish I could be that pretty. The other actors are all very good. She Shiman, like, we don't need to worry about her acting. I think her acting is just like being trained and tested, gone through too many years of hardship in TVB's world. Perfect. A lot of supporting roles are also doing super good job. Also, this drama features Tan Jianzi. I'm like, yay! It's him again. I have very special attachment about this actor. If you followed my channel for long enough, you would know. So the casting choices, the people in the drama, their performance did exceed my expectation. And that's probably the reason why I'm gonna continue watching this drama, mostly because I really enjoy all those characters and their acting, and I am curious to find out their future stories. The third thing I love about this drama is so far the plot and pacing has worked out really well. There's a good balance between emotional response and information exposition. There's a good balance between funny parts and serious parts, emotional parts and plot heavy parts. So that pacing overall doesn't make you feel you want to fall asleep or you want to fast forward. You're actually quite happy sitting there and looking at all the details. So these are the reasons that I put this drama at 2 gold mine. Now let me talk about the things I don't quite like about this drama, or I think may have problems. The first small thing that may become a problem later is the length. It is 49 episodes. It is still quite long. I looked at the original novel, which is about 800,000 Chinese characters. So that's actually roughly the length of Nirvana in Fire 2 book's length. That book did get made into a 50-episode drama. If you don't think that drama dragged, and if for 并编不是海棠红, they took all the plot and put it here, then conceivably it wouldn't be dragging too much, because the drama is written by the same person who wrote the original novel. So probably 80% of the possibility is gonna be, it's safe. It would not drag too much later, but you never know. There's always that possibility of it just losing steam halfway. In the book, it's a super open ending. You don't really know what happened to the 2 main lead in terms of our relationship. Is there a happy ending, bad ending, you know, HE or BE? The original book doesn't tell you that. It's totally open. But for dramas, I doubt they're gonna go for that route. Most likely for dramas, they have to give you a clear ending. So I'm curious to see that too. The second problem, which is what is causing a wave of low rating for this drama and then a wave of ratings trying to bring the ratings back up on China's internet since it aired over the weekend, is accuracy about its period and its characters. The book is very, very grounded in Beijing's 1930s. And the characters have very clear origins of where they come from. Our main lead characters, Huang Xiaomi's character Cheng Fengtai, is from Shanghai, a big business family that kind of lost all their money and then rebuilt it up. And they came to Beijing from Shanghai. His wife, the very big business family that he married to so that he can rebuild his business empire, played by She Shiman, came from northeastern China, Guanwai. And Beijing also locally has very strong culture. Back in 1930s, it's not like contemporary world where everybody can travel to every other city super easy. And in today's China, the regional differences, cultural practices, accents, how people's etiquette, all those details are much, much more evened out and lesser pronounced than back in 1930s. If you live in 1930s China, if you grew up in Beijing, you will speak, act, do a lot of things totally differently, like instantly people can tell where you come from, compared to a person who grew up in Shanghai or a person who grew up in Dongbei. Because of that, the original book is quite funny about talking about the differences, the language, specific words people would use, how they would act, would reflect where they come from. And it's part of the interesting thing of looking at the original story. Very unfortunately, in the drama, it kind of totally got lost. First, everybody speaks perfect Mandarin, so it evens out that quite juicy regional details. For international audiences, it wouldn't mean that much. But for people in China who know about this, it makes the story less convincing. And if that could actually be represented in a drama, it would be so interesting to look at. But I guess it's like asking for too much for an entertainment-oriented drama to do that much work. The other major accuracy problem that this drama has is it talks about Beijing opera extensively. Inevitably, people who are experts of Beijing opera will pick out a gazillion mistakes in this drama. I am no expert in Beijing opera, but I know that much is it is so detailed in terms of where your eyes look at a particular line or word that you are singing, what your hand looks like exactly, like this, like something like this. And this means different things. If you make a mistake and people who are watching you are an expert, they will boo you. It is a super locked down performance in terms of getting it perfect in everything. The sound, the movement, your eye, your look, what you do. It's insane. Like in terms of how much detail needs to be presented correctly. There are also a type of opera lover called 票友 in China, which means they're not just casual fans, they're like hardcore fans. They remember entire performance of one opera. They remember every movement of the actors, how to sing every tune, and they can perform themselves. And because there are many 票友 today still, so they can just pick out the tiniest mistakes that you see in this drama, and they're not happy about it. Because Yu Zheng did promote this drama in many ways, saying we try to revitalize Beijing opera. We spent so much effort trying to represent the accurate everything of Beijing opera, which honestly, for a drama that only had 5 months of production time, 4.5. It's impossible to do. None of the essential actors are trained in this. They did hire very expert Beijing opera singers to teach them for certain shots and scenes, but there are inevitably a lot of details that still is messed up. To that, personally, because I'm not an expert, I would say their effort is good enough for a drama. It's not a documentary for Beijing opera. You can tell they did put effort in it. It's just not perfect, but you can't stop people from, attacking it because of that reason. Also, just because Yu Zheng is very, very shameless in terms of like promoting it. Like, we're the best, we've done all the work that's possibly to be done. When you go Trump style, right? Yeah, you can expect actual expert will go, not really. So at the end of this video, I would say this is a pretty good drama. It did exceed my expectations in quite a few things. And I can't wait to see the future development. And I will probably go and read the original web novel, which will take me a long time to do. But I'm actually curious now to find out the differences. I would recommend people to check out this drama. I think it probably will be the most talked about, hottest drama among all the dramas that came out right around this year's spring equinox in China. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long, stay healthy, and happy drama watching.